Hey everyone, this is Chris from Bullseye. Wanted to walk through a demo account here for you for the software and show you a little bit about what Bullseye can do in terms of identifying web visitors on your site. We are a web identification software, strictly focused right now on US-based traffic. Anywhere from up to 40% of your traffic that hits your site, we can identify both B2C and B2B. We have multiple data provider, data enhancements, and data waterfalls that really help us fill out this identification graph and send it to you in nearly real time. So really great ROI that you can have in your marketing channel today with simply adding the software, which is a very small snippet pixel that you can add to your code of your site. Or if you have GTM, you can drop it in as a tag and upload it that way. So super simple, super fast to get started. Within about 5 minutes, you will have your pixel firing and identifying users that you otherwise wouldn't be able to identify. So it's a must-have in 2026 for your marketing stack, and let me walk you through it. So here on the homepage, you'll see just a general graph of identified visitors over the last 30 days. You can toggle most of anything within the UI of the actual software itself. Very customizable in the sense you can change dates. You can switch from identified visitors to identified companies, total sessions, page views. You can have multiple pixels, multiple domains attached to one pixel, so it doesn't have to just be one. You can have multiple. Same with ICPs, so your ideal customer profile. You can set that up. I'll show you here in a second on how to do that within the initial setup of the software to really hone in for your sales and marketing team on the customers that most likely would lead to conversion that are hitting your site that otherwise you wouldn't have identified otherwise. So we start here. Next in the nav bar here on the left, which is your command center for Bullseye, you'll see in identification, you'll see visitors. So if you click in here, as advertised, this is where your visitor base lives. So here you'll see in the demo all of our users that have come through the system. Obviously, this is a demo account, so you'll see here what this looks like and how you can customize this page. By the way, all of this is available via API. Of course, you can log in, have team members log in and use this, but everything you see here is also available via API, so keep that in mind. Here we see ICP fit, again, a lot of filtering settings, how you want to see it, how your team wants to see it is all available up here. You can obviously toggle views as well, from list view to profile card views. Totally up to you on how you want to customize this, but here's the real beauty of it all. This is the actual leads coming through. Example here, Samuel Cooper. If there's a LinkedIn profile, we'll grab it. It will be clickable for you to see. Job title, emails, company, number of visits, ICP flag, if that's identified, it will trigger on there, last visit, and then the cool thing is you can open LinkedIn right away, or if you want, you can hit profile. So this will be very dependent on the user itself. You'll obviously see the activity feed for the user, very helpful again for think sales teams, just to see what they saw on their journey through the site. How many times sessions, page views, domains they visited, etc. More information here. One thing we do have now as well is demo data. So we can tell you this example customer here is a CEO, Samuel Cooper, his income range, his marital status, a bunch of other personal demographic data that we do share. That is now available as well, as along with IP as well, IP and geolocation, to really hone in on the user itself. So all available, again, definitely in the UI, but also in the API as well. Let me go back here. Very quick wins. If you need to, you can always export this data to CSV. Highly recommend that. We'll also go through the integrations where if you want to send this to Slack, if you want to send it to a webhook, Make.com, Zapier, anything that has a webhook, you can send this to. We have CRM integrations. You can send the data anywhere, which is great. Of course, that is the crux of what you need to actually have this lead then becomes a customer for you. So I'll show you that in a second. Companies, same idea as the visitor tab, a little more obviously honed in on what the actual company is, but who's visiting from that company, how many visits, last visits, etc. Right? Same up here in terms of what's customizable, what you can make in terms of filters, etc. All up here at the top, which is great. We just released this tracking analytics, which is, I think, fantastic. So you can see here basically the source of traffic. If you're running paid media, this is a great spot to see what is successful in terms of ID rate. Also, you'll be able to see at a campaign level, which I'll show you here. Excuse me, of say demo request Google. You can click here and you'll see it would show up down here if it was available. Let me see if there's one that has it. They might not. Okay, not in demo. But you'll see here, like this is how it all breaks down. So everything down here, source of where the identification comes through. So if it came through, say for example, Google, a CPC campaign, Samuel Cooper came in that way through retargeting, right? So just more and more intent data of who that user is and how they got to your site, what they looked at. So you can see how powerful this data becomes. Otherwise, you wouldn't have noticed that Samuel Cooper, the CEO of Scale Up Solutions, came in through a retargeting ad, has been on site 14 times, likely pretty high intent, right? So very, very useful information. You can toggle this on. It will show just those that are identified, right? So all of this data here is very useful, also available via the API, of course, as well. Lead list is a pretty new feature where we essentially allow you to add lists directly from the visitors based on certain criteria into a list that maybe it's just your ultimate high level list that your sales team should hit first, right? Just hyper-focused ICP, tons of visits, hit maybe in the retargeting campaign, just a really, really hot lead that you can try to make it into a customer. This is where you would do that. So this is all great and shows you high level as the data comes in. But the important element, I think, is how to use the data. And I'll show you that here in a second. So connected apps here. We have a bunch more integrations coming here shortly. And we can add any type of integrations that you want. More CRMs are on the way. And a lot more will be customizable in the sense that we could set it up for you. But here's just some examples that we give. Slack, Teams. If you want it, as users come in, we can ping your teams where they live, right? Either in Microsoft Teams or Slack, and of course CRMs, Google Sheets. So everything like that's available. One more thing that we're adding is Meta ads and Google ads. The idea there is as these leads are hitting your site, it should be able to really help with the top of funnel in terms of just leading to a stronger audience as you're building through paid media. So you can get very, very specific in terms of what you want to send. You can filter just ICP leads into a target list that goes to Meta ads, for example. That just really helps you and should help lift the entire paid media top of funnel in the sense of overall efficiency. So that's coming soon too. But let me just hop into one of these to show you what it looks like very quick. Create a connection, and off screen will pop up for you to connect. Once that's all done, you can just hop into workflows here. Browse templates, I'll show you a couple here. Let me just hit this, create workflow. So once the auth is connected, this will be available. So visitor identified, you can just toggle this on, and this will send it to Slack, right? So you can pick the data if you want. I just leave it as is. Visitor data comes through. You can filter it if you want. Totally up to you. You can delay it. You can loop it. A lot of different things you can do here. You could webhook it. We have a good amount of customers that take the data and then further enhance it. So you can send it to Clay or any other data waterfall mechanisms that you want to really, really add in different data. We already give you about 80 data points, so we give you a lot, but totally understand if you're looking for more, there are availability to ping this data somewhere else. But that's how simple it is right here to set up a workflow. And it doesn't have to stop there. If you want just one workflow, you could, right? You could add in, say, a connection to Google Sheets here. You could send it after that webhook to wherever you need it to go, right? So there's just, it's a very simple drag and drop UI for building out the workflow. And then everything is just connected via the auth here. So simple connection here. Again, a lot more coming in terms of what's available. I don't even think webhooks is on here in the demo, but we do have right down here just like a webhook that you can send it to. So literally anywhere that accepts a payload webhook, you can send the data to. So that is critical because we want this data in where your sales and marketing team works so they can use the data. That is the critical element. Let me show you how simple this is to get started. Pretty cool. Script, here it is, sample script. All you do is copy code, obviously add it to the header here into your HTML code on the site. If you don't have that, you can obviously do GTM and configure it that way. You can do as many different sites as you want per pixel. We also do have capabilities, which I'll show in another video here for white labeling or agency level type of plans where there's a master org with sub orgs underneath. So there's a lot of different things you can do, especially if you have, say, an agency and you have a bunch of clients and you want to white label this as your own tracking service. We do have that functionality. I'll walk through it in another video. But if you're just, a web builder and you have 5 different sites, you can add them all to one pixel. It will come through visitors. You can set it up where it's, bring in the domain so you can see the differences between the domain. So it will all be siphoned out for you. Not a problem. So that's how quick you can add it. You'll see here other settings, all pretty much self-explanatory here. In terms of persona filtering, it's just another level of really honing in on like the ICP. So we do have like tags where you can do ICP or persona filtering. So a lot of this stuff is very specific based on the domains. ICP, same idea here. Very quickly can add a new ICP and add rules to it based on any type or all conditions, and plenty of those to choose from. So very, very easy to start a new ICP. You can even regenerate it. So we'll go through the old visitor list and update it based on ICP. So if you do one and you want to add one later, not a problem, can run it through and we'll show you everything. And then API key, self-explanatory. We do have documentation directly in here as well. So very easy to hop in and to see that. Team, pretty simple here in terms of being able to add members, notifications. Just when you get, basically email notifications based on any of these events, you can toggle on or off, totally up to you. White label, I'll hit next.